Abrupt changes are coming to America, according to Tucker Carlson in his latest speech, where he details all the things that are going wrong with America as he drops some truth bombs. So I'm going to play the video right now.
Like if something really dramatic in your country happens, like young people can't, I don't know, get married, or buy houses or have any hope for a future that approaches, the middle class upbringing they had, then you've got a huge problem and someone should be responding to that. And if your economy is like on the brink of collapse, if your country's literally bankrupt, someone would say that. And if food inflation gets so crazy that, people are actually complaining about it, at least where I live. I spend a lot of the year in rural Maine. That doesn't make me an expert on the people or anything. I'm fundamentally a rich kid, obviously. But I do live among people who aren't rich, and they're like legit upset about what groceries cost, like for real, and what gas costs. And now that we've drained the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, they're about to find out that it could get way higher than it is. So these are just real concerns. It doesn't mean they're the only concerns, but they can't be completely ignored, or you're going to have a volatile situation on your hands, and why wouldn't you? Angry people who feel like they have no recourse, who don't think elections are real, and they're totally right, obviously. Let's stop lying. There's a lot of truth in that. And those people are, they have real grievances, legit grievances. And the only way to tamp those grievances down is not by creating some East German surveillance state, which we have done, or throwing people in prison for loitering outside the Capitol, which is their house after all. That doesn't work long term. It didn't work in Eastern Europe. It won't work here. The only thing that does work is kind of giving them not all they want, but some. Or how about this? Let's just start with pretending you care. But you know what doesn't work? Saying we're going to spend $100 billion in other countries. And I don't care how virtuous the case those countries make is, and I don't care how much I personally may agree or disagree with what those countries are doing. That is immaterial. The job, the moral duty of the people running a country is to look out for the people in that country, period.
Tucker Carlson says out loud what everyone else is thinking to themselves. A lot of these issues, everyone feels like they are common sense, but that's not common sense to the government. And it's very revealing, like when the Maui fires happen and, they send these puny little checks to, the affected people. And then they write $100+ billion, checks to foreign governments. We're funding foreign pensions. And, Americans, have the right to be absolutely pissed off about this. And, Americans aren't being taken care of first. And, all we are is funding foreign countries in wars which Americans never voted on. Congress needs to approve, wars. And, we're doing all these indirect, dirty wars where there's no approval by the American people with these black op budgets that are just run in the billions. And you look at millennials, they can't afford a home, their groceries, inflation, everything's going up, credit card debt's going up. And you turn on the mainstream media and, the coverage of just about anything on mainstream media is absolutely disgusting, what either side you're on. So, this is why, people like Tucker Carlson and Twitter is just blowing up right now because people are seeking alternate, forms of information because they think they live in the twilight zone if you're putting mainstream media on. So, I think, there's some major headwinds coming globally for people, and I think they should really take a look at Bitcoin to protect themselves because governments around the world are going to continue to do things that don't work, print lots of money, and not look out for their citizens, and you need to look out for yourself, and I think you can do that with Bitcoin and looking at getting, a second passport abroad. And if you're interested in this, follow me, The Bitcoin Capitalist, and check out our link if you want to get a hold of us.